Golden Boys looking to sneak another Huskar, probably. Just
Yeah. Well, we told everyone in last game at the beginning of the draft that you cannot underestimate the Golden Boys here, especially if you have a stand-in. Of course, we don't know Pablo, we don't know where he's played or what kind of outnick that is, so we can't really say how much it impacted 4C&L.
We do know someone, one of the stand-ins, though, very well.
Yeah. But yeah, new game, new luck, 4C&L. They have the pressure on top of them right now, and Golden Boys, they have some more room to play with. I mean, in the first game, it's kind of alright, YOLO, just go for the strat here. Maybe they don't expect it, and maybe we can rule with it. But now they can go for something equally as whack, or even more experimental than that, because they're up one game. Even if they lose this one, they still have an extra chance. So yeah, might see a straight up draft coming out from them. It definitely looks like that with Doxy as Build Breaker, which is kind of the very strong offlane combo, considering all the offlane duos that we've seen in the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, this is one of my favorites. It's got a little bit of synergy. I'm sure everybody knows, but I love talking about it. When you surge a Spirit Breaker, a bash is based on move speed. It has extra damage based on move speed. So you can surge the Spirit Breaker, and as long as he's level 2, has the charge, has the bash, because generally you go charge first level, he will do a crap ton of damage with Ion Shell plus the surge on him. It's just a little cute interaction, which I love to see. And it's a hell lane for Clovers Farmer.
Oh yeah. So we'll see whether they just want to dodge that, pick up an offlaner for the safe lane, and then go aggro try or something like that, or if they just want to pick someone that can sort of handle it and still be able to contribute. Something, don't really want to say Weaver. He can definitely stick around and survive up against this, just because, hey, you can go in with the charge will still go through, but after that, well, unless you carry detection with you at all times, you should still be alright. But yeah, I would definitely expect 4C&L just to sack the safe lane at this point, go for a strong aggressive tri lane, and focus on that as well as the mid lane, just making sure that that gets off to a good start.
Yeah, and I don't think it's at all bad to waste a ban on the Huskar. Golden Boys also had to use one on the Alk, but you know what this means? We got Night Stalker in the pool, we got Dazzle, we got Witch Doctor. Actually, fun fact, so Witch Doctor, the hero, he gets picked a lot, considered a pretty strong support. He has an abysmal win rate this patch, which I think has a lot to do with Night Stalker, but we've got a lot of those nice supports. For Night Stalker is like a nice ganking support. Dazzle is a support that allows your team to go ham or can save your idiots, as we like to phrase it. So I think both of those probably going to be eyed here. They'll see if they can work it into their drafts again for either team.
Yep. See the bans coming out here, the Huskars you were mentioning, 4C&L, they don't want to have that crawling up on them again. And the Alchemist being banned out for all the Golden Boys, so kind of want to take that possibility off the table. You have the Tusk, who has kind of a clowny Aghanim's upgrade, but the Queen of Pain can benefit from that, and there's always the potential to just pick up a Tiny to give a quick axe to. But hey, not gonna have that in this game. Instead, the Witch Doctor. Yeah.
And yeah, it is the Witch Doctor. I mean, all around a great hero. The Witch Doctor has a nice stun setup, is a little bit squishy, has to worry about being charged on, has to worry about if they do run a Night Stalker, but it feels like Golden Boys would have a really rough time if they try to work a Night Stalker into this draft, especially with the Slaughter pickup. You want something which can help that Slaughter in lane. And a Night Stalker, while he can run at the enemy's faces and just hit them, you know, he can just bite them. I guess he auto-attacks with his hands, but he's got a scary face too. He isn't as good maybe as one of those range supports, which can just stand back and zone and not have to sacrifice their positioning to harass. But Golden Boys could go with the Dazzle here and have a full-on minus armor strat. Or what else can they actually? The Shadow Fiend and the TA both banned out, so I'm not sure what else they could really pick up to go more minus armor.
Oh. Really don't know that. Really don't know that. That's really the way to go here. But the Dazzle would actually make a lot of sense, not just for the minus armor for yourself, but also the plus armor up against the Witch Doctor. If nothing else here from 4C&L right now, it's always handy to have at hand, just to make sure that that's potentially Aghanim's have to upgrade its Witch Doctor ultimate at some point. Doesn't really wreck your face as much as it can, and that has turned games before, make no mistake. But
yeah, it's just a really nice all-around ult and hero, and Wind Runner too. The Windrunner is an interesting pickup here. Yeah, she can avoid some of the physical damage from the amplification, but I feel like with Spirit Breaker being around, they have quite a bit of lockdown to wait out that Windrun. And also, Windrun only dodges physical attacks. It doesn't dodge physical damage. So the Slithering Crush and the amp damage Slithering Crush combination can still be a right pain to her.
Usually though, you just blink in, crush, and then you put the amp damage on normally, but unless you're just stuck in kind of a sieging position where you just put the amp damage on everyone over a minute or so, and then try to initiate. So I don't know, I don't think it's a huge problem for him, and at the same time, Windrunner is such a Bambo hero, and he's pretty good with it. It's actually also a nice little counter to these kind of heroes that just want to run at you. Spirit Breaker, Slaughter, Darkseer. Especially if there's more than one of them, there's more potential for a Shackle to just turn it around entirely. Or just consider the charge onto Windrunner. Windrunner just says, alright, I'm gonna position myself here so that I can Shackle right up against a tree once you walk across it. So there's plenty of ways that you can play around this. And yeah, just make Golden Boys charge into depth more than anything else. At the same time, it's if you don't get that, if you really just get rumbles, then you may be in trouble.
Now we're about to find out from 4Clovers exactly where everyone's going, but I really like the draft from 4Clovers right now because we don't know, this could be mid-quap, this could be off-lane quap, this can be mid-Windrunner, it can be safe lane Windrunner, it could even be dual lanes with Windrunner being in that off-lane. They've got a lot of flexibility here and haven't really shown their hand, which I like a lot. I think it makes it hard for Golden Boys. Additionally, I am not a huge fan of Slaughter as a Fission 1. What's your feelings on it?
It kind of feels underwhelming. I really like him in the offlane position much more, just because you're not really doing so much damage yourself, mostly. You're just setting up for a secondary physical damage dealer to just go ham later on. It can work as a position 1, but I feel that restricts the timing window way too short, right? You kind of have to win the game by a certain point, or else you just don't scale as well as a Slaughter. You don't really have a lot of attack speed. Sure, you have lots of minus armor, but what does that really do if you just can't hit someone, right?
Yeah. It's also something where it feels like he doesn't farm well or itemize well as a single target attacker. You can farm stacks kind of with the Slithering Crush. It doesn't do a whole heap of damage. And then as for what you go for damage, it feels really difficult. Maybe usually we see the utility Slaughter, Blink Dagger, Force Staff. Of course, Darkseer is going to be their offlane though, so you want more in your Slaughter. Going in AC is great, but you're still like just relying on amp damage for a lot of what you've got. I don't know. Maybe this Lina is going to be the right clicker though. It's certainly possible with Fiery Souls that she can output a lot of physical damage to help be buffed up by amp damage.
Yeah, and if you want to go really crazy, you can just put the like Spirit Break in a safe lane, go for an aggro try with Darkseer, Slaughter +1, put Lina mid. I mean, I don't know, if you really want to think outside the box, I feel like there's plenty of ways for Golden Boys lineup as well to just, well, yeah, kind of pull something out out of the thinking cap, more or less, to just put down lanes that 4C&L might not necessarily expect. I mean, Slaughter can work off lane, Darkseer, Spirit Breaker. Even Lina can work mid, can work as a support, can even in some circumstances work in one position as well. Just if you want to, if you're planning on dissolving the laning stage early enough.
Yeah. So, but so looking at these two teams, I do feel like the team fight is kind of weird from both. I feel like Golden Boys has a really nice way of grouping up the team, and yeah, you can get them into Light Strike Array and Slithering Crush and I guess Dragon Slave for your AoE damage after the vacuum, but they don't have something like the Quap. And then for 4Clovers, they have a lot of stuff where they want Golden Boys to be grouped up, because, you know, they picked up the Queen of Pain, they've now picked up the Earthshaker. Windrunner maybe doesn't care as much, but they picked up two of these heroes that really want your opponents grouped up, and they don't have an easy way to get them all into those positions, except for maybe, like, if this Tusk is godlike with his Ice Shards.
Yeah, maybe. But at the same time, though, even despite the lack of having that sort of crowd control, just being able to manipulate positioning like that as easily, still feel like 4C&L have a much more well-rounded lineup, and the Visage as well. When it comes to team fighting, sure, if your familiar control is on points, you can do quite a lot with that, as well as if you manage to get multiple fully charged solo assumptions off, that's a really strong hero, but that mostly shines once again in solo pickoffs, and that's what Golden Boys will probably be looking for. Just dominate the early game, make sure the Slaughter gets to a quick Blink Dagger out of the one position here, make sure the Spirit Breaker can charge a lot and make stuff happen. So, yeah, just so they can get the momentum going once more, but I feel like 4C&L, they have a much better lineup to deal with it this time around.
Yeah, I like both teams' drafts here a lot, and as you said, it feels like nobody super won the draft this time, unlike last game where it was kind of like, oh shit, you don't have a counter to the Huskar, what are you gonna do? But either way, just looking at the drafts, I think, as you said, a lot of it is gonna depend. I actually think this Visage, skanks on this Visage could potentially get huge, and there are a lot of ways to capitalize on that, as we said, with the amp damage and so on. Those familiars could be just really wrecking people's faces. Like, they can already solo people with amp damage. It's like, hey, you used to exist, now you don't. How is it?
That's true. It's actually a good point. I mean, we usually saw these Visage draw range combos just to have that extra damage on the familiars at all times. But yeah, the same kind of effect can be reached with just having a lot of minus armor, and yeah, it may not be as strong just because you still utilize your charges, and I think the lowest charge if you don't have any charges is like 10 damage a pop. Even with amp damage, it's not a whole lot, but
yeah, but then it's false attack speed, as you said. It's not a lot with amp damage, but you're often, if you can get the fresh familiars after a drop. I don't actually know what the drop is called. We'll find out in a second, folks, when he actually summons them. You know what I mean, the stun. I call it the drop, but it refreshes their damage and so on, and you can kill someone off when you're fresh. Either way, we're getting the normal rune split, it looks like, and Earthshaker offlane, I find this really interesting. I haven't gotten an opportunity to cast a hell of a lot of 4 Clovers, just because of where I've been casting recently, and Sexy Bambo now on offlane. He played mid last game. It's kind of a bit of a different role, not gonna lie.
It is, but then again, Bambo, he's been in Dota for so freaking long that he's in a position where he can play pretty much any position, I feel like. Maybe not as good as where he feels most comfortable, but he can definitely do an Earthshake. I've seen him before on this hero, and it's been, as far as Earthshakers goes, one of the better ones. At the same time, we have some more signature heroes. Pikeout on the Queen of Pain in the middle lane, and we've got actually Blitz Dota, not in the Storm Spirit for once, on the Windrunner, down here in the 1 position actually. Nikwa, he's going to be supporting him on the Tusk. EGM, I guess it's the one constant that we have here, even with Blitz Assistant, and still supporting on the Witch Doctor.
Yeah, and on the lineup of Golden Boys, we've got maybe next time playing that Spirit Breaker. Slaughter being played by Madara in the safe lane farming. I'm really interested to see how he's going to itemize this. Visage played up by Skanks. Oh, did I already do? No, I didn't.
Nope.
Doxir is being played by Skylark. And finally, Keezer on Lena. I was just like, my mind was like, I've already said Skanks is on the Visage, so what did I just do that twice? And it was like, no, you didn't. You were not that sleepy. Either way, this mid lane, I think, going to be pretty even. Lena has an easier way to harass the Queen of Pain with that Dragon Slave, but of course, Queen of Pain can blink away and get out of danger. It's hard to hit a Light Strike array, I think, on her.
Yeah, I would put Lena slightly in favor here, just because you have the Dragon Slave, which is much easier to hit onto Pikeout than the Screen of Pain. That being said, though, Pikeout, he has put 2 points up into the Shadow Strike, which is also pretty nice harassment. So yeah, mostly even, maybe slight advantage to Lena, but it's really going to come down to any sort of support rotations to really decide this lane. For now, though, Nikwa and EGM, they're sticking around here, just zoning out maybe next time.
Yeah, something really interesting that's going on is Doxia Skylark has chosen to jungle from level 1. I guess deciding that they think that they will die if they're both down there. Also, maybe not wanting to take coconuts together. But maybe next time chilling down here. He's having a really hard time getting levels, but it will technically mean that they should have more experience across the board on the lineup of Golden Boys as this game progresses. Because Doxia can jungle. It's just slow until he gets level 3. But no, he's headed back down bottom. This is... I'm not quite sure. I guess they really wanted level 2 on Doxia so he can surge people out of danger?
Yeah, it seems like the play. I mean, you're talking about how maybe next time has had so much trouble getting his level 2. If Doxia was here, he still wouldn't have it. But now they have the charge as well as the bash, and they have almost level 3 in Doxia, so the Surge Iron Shell combo is there. Maybe a little bit unconventional.
I mid.
Oh. There's a
Looks
snowball.
like Keezer might be going down. The ice shot, beautiful, and Keezer, yeah, just gonna die. Does try to delay the inevitable with the light strike array completely off the mark, but a really nice ice shot's coming in from Nikwa, setting all of that up, taking advantage of the fact that Lina, she can't reposition herself like a quap.
Yep. It's a really nice thing to be able to abuse here, especially with the Tusk. If you're on point with your spells, only 2 levels can just make the difference in so many team fights. Yeah, speaking of team fights, might have another skirmish down here in bottom lane. Nick was coming back to try and support. Maybe next time though. He's got an Iron Shell on top of him with Skylock. We'll find a Tusk in the back. And yeah, they're just gonna exchange some blows and be done with it.
Yeah, it's one of those engagements where like everybody wants to get a few auto attacks on the other, but nobody's actually going to go down. And I think it's really rough here for Golden Boys. They're having no success getting a kill on top, and they're also not really getting kills or stopping Blitz's farm on that Windrunner on bottom. And they've lost mid lane just because of the early kill. So I think Golden Boys not. You want to win 2 out of 3 lanes at least, right? That sets you up for an excellent mid game. They're kind of losing 3 for 3.
Pretty much, yeah. That kill on Lina kind of shifted the balance, of course, as we were talking about. And yeah, at the same time, top lane. Sure, Slaughter's farming with Sexy Bamboo. He's also got a decent amount of last hits here under his belt, and he's also already level 4 as well. He will be after this creep wave. Should be at least, but he's getting good levels here for an Earthshaker. I mean,
he may be about to die as we curse him. Yeah, he gets slithering crushed and then auto attack down. Yeah, we kind of cursed him there. As like I was about to agree with you. It was like he's doing actually really well getting experience considering this lane, and then it was just like, nah, you get wrecked.
It's really weird though, because he got crushed once, and then he still stuck around way too close for his own benefit. But hey, it's just what happens sometimes.
The uptime on Sprint has been increased, just a shorter cooldown on it now, and so technically better uptime overall. And also just he probably didn't respect the Slitherine Crush damage, maybe wasn't expecting it to be maxed here. Entirely possible that he thought maybe Slaughter gets some points in Bash or whatever, so.
Yeah, it's actually the build that I go for, but that's once again usually in your offlane role. Especially offlane dual lanes, just giving you the ability to maybe get a lucky Bash after the fact, get a little bit of extra damage, extra lockdown after Slitherine Crush. Yeah, that has enabled me to get a kill or 2 that I wouldn't have gotten otherwise, but not in this game. It's the 1 position, so maxing out the Slitherine Crush, definitely not a bad idea.
Yeah, and he will be on good track to get up that early Blink Dagger, already finished out the treads. I imagine Madara is going to go rush the Blink Dagger. I do wonder what he goes next. I don't think the AC is bad here at all. Will certainly help them set up more kills with their damage, but could be the forced off build anyway, like the Blink Dagger and the forced off, just to make sure you can be in and out like a race car when you have that sprint and not take too much damage with the damage amp on sprint.
Yep. If you really want to commit to the Slaughter right click though, you can also consider something like an Armlet, just to be able to boost what little right clicks he has and just get the most out of it.
It's certainly a viable option. It's something I don't think we've seen in a while. A lot of people throwing the utility. What is going down bottom? Blitz actually being a pain, and it looks like top. Is this gank gonna latch?
Well, I don't think it has been spotted out, but they may think that it did.
The courier's about to. Oh gosh. Oh. I don't know if... Yeah, the courier did see them. Nighttime vision, it's always hard to tell if the courier actually got a clear shot. But even if the courier didn't, they got the ward down over here, which saw the rotation, so...
Not gonna see this one, though. They smoked up on the high ground, and they're looking for more. They will rotate into the jungle, Nikwa ahead. Yeah. They will find the courier here, but it's not exactly the target that they were looking for. But they will spot at the stack, though. Meanwhile, top, Sexy Bamboo being slowed up. Madara with the crush will not get it up just yet, and will actually miss it, thanks to that. Nicely. Oh wow, the turnaround here. Maybe Skanks. Will he fall? Yes, he will. Pycat with the Sonic Wave ensuring that kill. Good rotation from him. And really nicely timed and enchanted totem here from Sexy Bamboo, just being able to dodge a stun from Madara coming out.
Yeah, 2 really interesting, cool things happen for both sides there. One, the smoke, even though it didn't latch...
Snowball onto Madara here. Will it connect? Yes, it will, but already behind it, the 1 tower.
Oh,
it means that Nikwa is in a lot of trouble right now. The crush. Kind of off the mark, same for the electric array. Pycat, he can blink in any moment.
Yeah,
he will. Madara, he will die. The TP will be cancelled by Bambo, and that's not what you want to have happen if you're Golden Boys. You rely on the Slaughter to be able to do a lot for you, especially here, since maybe next time on the Spirit Breaker hasn't really been able to find anything. You need to get a lot of mileage out of this hero, and dying there definitely sets him back on his blink dagger timing.
Yeah, I was gonna say, while they didn't quite get the kill, they were looking for Kiza, and they scouted the stacks, so they know about this now on the lineup of 4 Clovers. They can certainly do this. While Windrunner isn't the best stack killer because of the degradation of that power shot as it goes through units, Queen of Pain, of course, has lots to kill those stacks. On the other hand, Kiza, he saw the gank going up that way, and then I think he realized, look, they're still not on the map. I want to do the stacks right now, but I can't, because they're probably going to check for that. So Kiza was really smart in just sticking by his tower instead of going to do stacks like I think most of us would. I mean, we want the gold. You had a rough time in middle. You want to get back in. So
yep.
Either way, pretty. I think a small advantage right now for 4 Clovers. Yeah, the gold is gonna agree with that and doing well.
Yeah, absolutely. And at the same time, with all this action on the opposite side of the map, Blitz has been able to farm up relatively nicely here on the Windrunner, close to the top of the last chart. It's face boots, ring Basilius straight into the Aghanim Scepter, it looks like. But do you think it's just a value point booster and just... Oh, what else would you build right now? If you didn't want to go for the axe right away.
On Queen of Pain?
On Windrunner. Just hypothetically.
On Windrunner, sorry. I just zoned for a second. I was thinking about Slaughter, just trying to think of what to do. I think you can get a Blink Dagger here. It seems perfectly viable, will help you catch out people and kill them off more. But if you're getting such free farm, you generally finish up the Ags. There are some players who prefer Maelstrom first. It comes down a lot to player preference, and I honestly haven't seen Blitz very much in competitive play lately, obviously. And I don't know whether he has a preference on the hero, but that's generally the way it goes. You finish up the Ags unless you're saying, hey, I'm going to be ganking and need that Blink Dagger to get pickoffs. And if you're not worried about getting those pickoffs so you can line up Shackles, oh goodness, this is going to be a very good Spirit Breaker.
Yeah, he's all alone here, 2 heroes around, EGM with the cask will not bounce, but we get the Maldeck on top. Sexy Bambo's there with the extra lockdown, setting up for the Shackle here. And that was just a little bit of desperation play almost, it feels like, from maybe next time. Just trying to find anything, diving in deep here in unknown terrain. It didn't have any sort of ward spotting out this general area. And it's getting to be a problem.
He should have, as you pointed out, they really should have known better. They only have a ward here and a ward there. You have to have an idea that if the Earthshaker isn't in the top lane, he's elsewhere. But yeah. So, unfortunate there. They are doing a good job of using this charge. I don't think this one will connect either on Pycat, but they're using it to light up the map, which can certainly be super helpful in making sure that you have good vision everywhere and have an idea of their movements. But now they're going to be wary of that bottom lane. Really unfortunate there. And Dox here, he's almost to mech. He doesn't even have boots, though. He's rushing it over Arcanes. And taking the coconuts to the face. Oh, the changes to the catapult, the bounces that would not previously have worked. And Skylark is going to take quite a bit from that Maledict. I'm sorry, I just think that's hilarious. Like, just little plays that you can do now, where he knew on EGM that it would bounce off of the catapult because it's no longer magic immune.
Yeah, it's kind of screwed him over a little bit, but unfortunately fortunately for him, he didn't die. It was as it was pretty much only EGM there. But at the same time, they're not really losing too much. Blitz is still farming. Madara even rotated in here to try and get a counter kill. That just takes him off the farming round, off the map for that particular purpose. So, still looking for pressure here. They're looking to get back into this game through on the back of pickoffs, and Sexy Bambo might be it, but already once again under the cover of Tier 1 tower, will force maybe next time to cancel the charge. 4C&L, they're just doing a really good job dodging the ganks that they don't want to engage in and finding some kills of their own whenever they have the chance.
And they're buying a lot of space, and it means that Queen of Pain is able to go the Orchid, Blitz can rush this Aghanims. They're not so worried about needing defensive items or anything, so a really nice play there.
Yeah. Claim tower with an early point up into the ultimate, I really like that as well, from Windrunners. I mean, in the old days when we saw Windrunners, we saw them just skip the ultimate entirely until like level 10 or 11, even longer than that sometimes. But ever since the change to focus fire, just the value point, just to be able to get these quick towers early on, if you get a little bit of time, it's just so valuable to me.
Oh, in mid, we got some action. Oh, maybe next time goes down again. Just trying to go for these ambitious charges. Had Lena as backup, but not knowing that there were 3. So really unfortunate there. And they might Sexy Bamboo not going to come up far enough for them to make anything work on top. Yeah, I think Focus Fire, excuse me, it's especially good here. If Blitz gets up this early Aghanims, I wouldn't be surprised to see 4 Clovers sneak an early Roche. They have the Sigil. It'll take them a while, even with the Focus Fire, Aghanim Scepter Focus Fire, but they can do it, and especially if they just send in the Tusk and the Windrunner, they can probably get it down and maybe have their other heroes obvious on the map and not too too obvious of a gank, but it looked like Shanks. Goodbye. Oh, sorry, Skanks. Oh, Coconut's actually. Oh, they don't bounce, but he's still gonna be dead as much. And yeah, maybe losing Familiars. Oh, that's devastating. Maybe next time is here, but this is a 2v4. Now Lina come. They actually get a Slithering Crush to kill off Tusk immediately, and Madara gonna take a lot of damage in this Shackle. And the Earth. Oh, the Echo Slam, pretty good. But the mech comes out immediately. Coconuts will stop any sort of re-engage by Golden Boys, and EGM's doing work with these Coconuts.
Absolutely. And the first one just enough to set up for the kill on Skanks, with Pycat jumping in, providing the axe with a burst, and also reasonable counter engagement here from Golden Boys. But they had to use pretty much 2 ultimates there with the Laguna Blade and the Slaughter. Well, not so much an ultimate, but well, a strong combo nonetheless when it comes to amplified damage plus a Slithering Crush. Those 2 skills were alone, all 3 skills technically, were known to bring down Tusk pretty damn quickly, so they make a 1-for-1 trade out of it, but that they didn't get more was really down to Bamboo really on the Earthshaker, just as well as EGM on the cask, as he was saying.
Yeah, so really nicely played there, but this game looking firmly in 4 Clover's corner. Now, there are definitely things Golden Boys can do to get back into it. They've got smokes present. I think that if they can pick off 1 hero, they've got more than enough damage, right? They've got a lot of single target damage. So they can certainly pick someone off. They too can sneak the Roshan with amp damage early on. They've got a number of mechanisms to get back into this game.
Yeah. Speaking of mechanism, Darkseer should have his by now, and indeed he does. They will look to use that in mid. Madara heals up to the air, but little do they know, it's only an illusion. Oh man. So that's kind of an effort wasted. 4 heroes here in mid, not really able to accomplish anything. And at the same time, Blitz, he's still farming, doing Blitz things. Top lane, Nikwa, he's farming as well. He's got his level 6 up just now, but he has to get the hell out. 5 heroes are bearing down on his position. He's teleporting, but it's not gonna work. Blink, amplify damage after the crush. Snowball will delay this a little bit, but that's all that he can really hope for. So there's no help coming, obviously. But hey, hashtag space created. EGM is getting his level 8 now, getting a little bit extra gold on his belt, as he's been the number 5 position support for for this game.
Yeah, and it is not. While it's certainly a good kill for them, you know, it was the Tusk. He's the lowest net worth on the team.
Yeah.
You're not getting a big bounty for that, and as you said, space created. Queen of Pain's gonna have that Orchid online soon. Lina does have her Yules up, but while you can Yules off the Orchid, of course, it's still not exactly how you want to be using that. You want to be using the Yules to set up on other people. You don't have to use it super defensively.
Yeah, especially considering that it'll also set you up for 4C&L to then continue. Even though you're not Sans anymore, you still have the Earthshake around to... doesn't really have to put much effort into putting in a good fissure or something. You can just walk up, use the Enchant Totem for the extra control. Then you have the Queen of Pain with all the time in the world to come in. There's just not a whole lot that you can do as Lina. If you have to use it defensively, it's actually a similar kind of story to the Tusk Snowball. Unless you have a creep wave passing you that you can snowball to, it's only going to delay the inevitable. It's the same kind of mechanism. Same kind of story.
So Blitz is going to have a very early Aghanims. I don't know the timing on this for this patch, but I'm pretty sure this is early. And he's just having a grand old time down here farming up a Storm. And yeah.
Ha, see what you did there. I see what you did there.
Oh no, I did not mean to. My apologies. That's just a phrase I use. The worst is when I say farming up a Storm and there's a Razor in the game and I'm like, I hate myself right now. I hate it. But not important. We've got the Blink up on Slaughter. He's had that for a bit. I think as well... Darkseer, I think he'll finish Arcanes first, but potentially investing in a Blink Dagger might be able to help them with some of these initiations. Even if you're just, again, I think you're at the point in the game for Golden Boys that you just want to slow it down. Even if you have to use a big teamfight ultimate or a long cooldown spell just to get one pick off, you do it and try to delay the game a bit more to get yourself some more items on your Slaughter and so on and get prepped for those teamfights.
That's a fine line to walk, because at the same time, if you delay this game for too long, then the Queen of Pain will have a next item as well. Then, yeah, Blink Dagger is actually already up and running right now on Bamboo as well. He just picked it up, and yeah, predictably, smoke comes out. they're looking to use that blink. And if you delay this game long enough, you're just opening up possibilities. You're opening up time for 4C&L as well to just come in, find these kind of ganks, and that's Kaiser going down immediately. Maybe not the highest value target, but hey, a target anyway. And the kill after the blink. They might even find Madara here. The cast comes out. There's still one creep left to bounce once, and now he will not get out.
Oh.
Yeah, there's no way for him to go. Literally caught in the corner between a rock and our place, and Skylark, he just comes in, gets bursted down as well. Couldn't really do a damn thing thanks to the Orchid and Familiars as well. What? Everything is dying.
He lost one. He lost one.
Oh,
big
man.
bounty. It's very sad. Yeah, it's feeling rough for Golden Boys. They're about probably 4,000 behind when we all things even out, and the experience lead that they'd been having just because the Darkseer was able to jungle and other people were off doing jungle things are not working out anymore. This Tuskos has 6 own charges. Isn't able to, like, his team isn't getting low, so he's not able to just spam. You always want to keep your own at 0, right? Because you get 2 charges when it's at 0. But if your opponents are dying before you can put the own debuff on them, and if your allies aren't getting low, like, you just stack them up, and that's really a sign that you're in dominant control of the game.
Yeah, that's about as first world problem-y as it gets,
Yeah.
I guess. But yeah. 6 charges,
Now-
plenty to work with, and yeah, that also enables them to stick around. Little do they know, they do know in fact, that they are being spotted out. This Observer Ward doing quite some work, but once again, 4C&L, they dodge the gank, they get out, and they're ready to fight again without really giving Golden Boys any quarter. And at the same time, hey, Blitz, he's still farming, he's pushing towers, he's just having the time of his life right now.
Yeah. Doing great time. I do wonder what item he goes next.
and
I
she goes
feel like
in
he's
and-
got
What? They're gonna go, they get the they got the lockdown here, but Bambo's there as well with the pressure. Now the shackles to a creep. Nice vacuum wall though. Snowball comes in as well. Big one punches up, maybe next time. Not convenient enough to bring him down. The charge into the backlines will lock them down further. Blitz already dead. Sexy Bambo, yeah, that will be enough to bring down Spirit Breaker, but the fight's not over yet. Madara, nice vision there. Isolating him, keeping him away from EGM. But Madara still pretty fast with the sprint. Will not want to dive much further though. But at the very least, it will set them up to get a tower here. Their first one in the game is Queen of Pain. Didn't see how he went down in his middle engagement, but that definitely
Queen of Pain
tends to
was
help.
Queen of Pain jumped in aggressively and then got Yule's Light Striker raid.
Okay.
It's the cost point on Blink for Queen of Pain is long enough that generally you can hit it. Getting a perfect Yule's Light Striker raid combo is actually really difficult just because you have to be perfect, there's some delay in the game, and so that's why you can't always reliably use it to get someone like an Ember Spirit or someone with a BKB, but like with someone like Quap, and she doesn't have the BKB yet, you can certainly get her. I think just a little bit of an overextension.
No!
But Jesus!
Bambo, please! He misses the Echo Slam just a tap into late,
And
now
now
they're in
EGM?
trouble. The Snowball comes in, the EGM lockdown, vacuumed into everything that GB has to offer. Shackle does not latch. It's 2 more heroes going down here. That was a judgment call that he made that did not work out at all. Gold Boys getting up a freebie here after already finishing off the Roshan on the back of that level 2 amplified damage.
So, I think Sexy Bambo went for the fancy play here. Oh, they might actually be able to kill off...
Gonna go in
Okay,
and pike
I don't
out some
know.
cheese, but there's not a whole lot that you can actually do to try and help. Madara
She
still
actually
gets
got the
Flicker.
silence out. They might be able to kill Slaughter here. Can they do enough damage? But no, they have no idea where he is. And Pycat's like, guys, I'm out. Sexy Bambo, good day. Doesn't want to commit anything. The Courier gonna dodge any sort of damage as well. Although it did scout Pycat, and now Pycat's gonna blink away. They can use this Courier to find him, but they decide not to. I was gonna say, in both of those team fights, in the first one, it felt like Blitz was just out of position a little bit, overextended. Thought he had his team to back him up, but maybe didn't realize they were running into 5. For the second team fight, Sexy Bambo, he was playing as if they were behind. Sometimes when you're behind, you have to go for these crazy plays, like Echo Slamming the Roshan as it goes down to try and snatch the Aegis. They weren't behind, though. Yes, you lost a team fight, but your team was in a dominant position. Now, things are even. And feeding away both of those team fights actually puts Golden Boys at an experience advantage, which is arguably better for them, because Visage having level 2 familiars, higher levels on amp damage, it just makes Golden Boys hurt a lot more in their lineup.
Yeah, absolutely, and now they even Also getting ahead in goals, not by as much, but still. They took down the tier 1 tower after Roche to give them an extra boost, and now tier 2 is also going to fall, and 4C&L, they're not really in any position to try and trade or to defend here. They're gonna try anyway. Or are they? Yeah, maybe not. They're just trying to spam out the wave. But it's not gonna be enough to keep this tier 2 alive. It's always a problem here on the Radiant side. If you're not already in position, and if you have to walk up this high ground, it's just a funnel of death here for you. Especially considering the amount of team fights that AoE control that Gold Boys also have available. With the vacuum into the Slytherin Crush, for example. It's maybe not the easiest combo to... there you go. Maybe not the easiest combo to actually pull off, but... it is pretty damn strong if you get it.
Yeah. So, doing a nice job there. Also, this Witch Doctor, he's got like a bug mask. I don't know if you've seen this. Anyway, it's not important. Sorry, I just looked at his face and it was terrifying me. I'm easily frightened. Either way, Witch Doctor, he's working towards his Aghanim Scepter. We talked about it a bit during the beginning of the game, but it is such a fantastic Aghanim Scepter. Arguably, the upgrade got better because of the change to the old. Oh, they're going in the Coconut Stone Bounce?
Yeah.
Can they catch out this Lena, though? They should be able to get her. And oh, the Shackle of Dreams from Blitz. I don't think they're going to go again, though. They might be done with this engagement. They do have the wave, though. Pycat easy Sonic Wave. He actually ends up missing on one, so doesn't get the dream, but Earthshaker is down. They're going to pick off Blitz here, too. This went all wrong. I really thought 4 Clovers had an excellent jump there, and there might still be more. No, everything calming down.
Or is it? Skylark, he's still blinking cross. Kaiser pretty damn fast thanks to his passive, but there's the old Scepter onto the Witch Doctor. That should be another free pickup here. He still has the amp damage on. And that's it. Madara kind of misses the crush here, but gets the last right click in, and maybe next time. Almost charging across the tier 2 area as well, and yeah, they had a good jump for CNL. I mean, it's not really, it wasn't really the debate, but the kind of problem was that the Fissure kind of split the wicket.
Yeah.
That Lena on the one side, and then I think it was Skanks on the other, I believe.
Yeah, it was just not, unfortunately, the best positioning there for the lineup of 4 Clovers. Now, I want to talk just a quick little thing on Madara. I don't know if he's blinking too far and then getting the short blink, or maybe if you hover over Slytherin Crush, it has a huge AoE. But I think Madara is the first player I've seen who maybe thinks it's a lot bigger than it is. Most players I see get in a lot closer than it is, and he's been having a bit of trouble landing these Slytherin Crushes, and yeah, maybe it's the server. They all are complaining about lag, so because I've seen the Slytherin Crush is missing, and we've seen Pycat having some trouble with positioning his ult. It just seems like some uncharacteristic mistakes from players of this caliber.
Yeah. It's not really a good position to be in here, for sure, but there's not really a whole lot.
Oh wow, the server is shit.
Yeah.
I have 250.
Hang on.
Like, I shouldn't have 250, do you?
I have actually my scope. I have 140 as well. This is Europe server? No, that's not going to work. But yeah, what can we do at this point? Reborn doesn't let you load, not really, so all you can really do is pause, wait for it to get better. This far into the game, or just have to try and deal with it. I guess both teams are having problems with it, so it kind of balances out, but it makes for a little bit more of a scrappy game than it would be otherwise.
Yeah, it's always unfortunate too, right? Like I see this a lot in the Americas region because I coach a lot of Americas Dota. We always have the problem of all the South American teams have to play on US East generally, and sometimes that's even better depending on where they're from exactly, because some of the servers in South America are really bad. But you want to see people at the best of their best, and here it hasn't changed too much because, well, it hasn't changed like the picks, but actually in the games that I cost a lot, we see picks have to change because teams are like, look, I can't hit my Ember Spirit, Sleight of Fist, Searing Chains on 300 ping. Yeah. And that's always unfortunate. Here, sucks that we're not going to see the best of Dota. Maybe that's why the Echo Slam didn't work in the Roshan pit, right? The notification came too late, possibly, and it's just really unfortunate all around. But either way, I don't think they're out of it yet for 4 Clovers. They've had a bit of a disadvantage after the first last couple team fights, but they can be getting a lot of wave clear. They have Sonic Wave, not Aghanims yet, but I'm sure they can get that up if they're worried. And I really do think their heroes scale better as the game progresses, just because Windrunner seems like an easier hero to build towards a damage carry, as does Queen of Pain towards utility.
Absolutely. So. It's not just that they have the heroes that can go for right click or utility. I mean, Queen of Pain also can go the right click build if you really wanted to. you also have a number of really good support heroes that scale well into late game, not just in terms of damage here when it comes to Death Ward, but also just in terms of control. The Earthshaker is just so good throughout all stages of the game, because you have such a huge stun lock potential on as much as 5 heroes, right? If you can catch them together like that, and yeah. That's all the time that you really need for really well farmed Windrunner to just pick up 1 or maybe 2, or set up for a Shackle to just get that extra control factor in as well. So I would definitely agree with you there. But yeah. At the same time, they have to start finding these kind of team fights, or if they keep losing these team fights or skirmishes, then at some point Golden Boys will be knocking at the door. They don't have the best push, but decent enough if 2 or 3 heroes are down on 4C&L.
And Golden Boys is 10,000 experience ahead. At this point in the game, that is their Lina having level 3 ultimate. That's Slaughter almost having level 3 amp damage. And they've got second level of their second level of their ults on both of their supports. It's always really delightful, right, to have that. That is more damage, more lockdown, and so on. It's just, it's nice. And shorter cooldown on that Nether Strike, really helpful against people like the Windrunner, like the Queen of Pain.
Yep. They're gonna look to, well, Spiritbreaker still hasn't really done too much in the early game, but he's come back quite nicely. He has been able to win.
He cancelled it, but they saw him, so I thought they were gonna go on him, because they saw him, but I think the 4 Clovers now, they're playing a bit more passively, saying, hey, we are on the back foot, let's not feed away any useless kills, not knowing if Spiritbreaker had, like, the entire team now.
He might still die here, maybe next time will show himself up near the creep wave. Pikecat is sitting on the sides. They may not be too... Oh, never mind. There it is. Sex Bamboo. They commit everything just to bring it down. But Skylark is there with the vacuum wall. That'll not quite make it a trade. Madara, though, gets the crush onto Bamboo. Does not have the amp damage on him just yet. Will do it now. Pops the BKB. And the Soul Assumption is the one to secure that counter kill. So even though they use everything, they fail to kill maybe next time straight off the bat. He even stayed alive for much longer than I anticipated him to be honest with you.
Because the Guardian Greaves. The Guardian Greaves came out, and also the Guardian Greaves do more... okay, I'm always bad on this. I'm showing my lack of Dota knowledge, but when your health is below 20%, you get extra 15 health regen and 15 armor, which was what was keeping him alive, because then Windrunner's auto attacks don't hurt as much. So it's a little thing about Guardian Greaves, not... Probably everybody knows it except for me, sorry folks. But now for those of you who didn't know it too. So education. Either way, really nice jump in there by Doxia. Kind of unfortunate that he had to use the wall vacuum combo, but I think rightly identifying them were more there, and maybe if he didn't use that, 4 Clovers, they do end up getting the kill and are able to keep fighting and do something. But either way, I think you're happy for 4 Clovers. Unfortunately, you had to use a lot, but at least you got to pick off. Like, you're in a... Yeah. You're behind, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's like... It's not really going the way they want to, but these are the kind of pickups that they still need. These are the kind of pickups that can kind of halt the momentum for Golden Boys. And yeah, 4C&L, they know as well as we do that as much farm as they put on a Slaughter, even went for Midas here before. I kind of spotted that out on non-verbally. He now has his BKB, which is great, but it's only going to be great for a little while longer. Until Windrunner really gets the big damage item up and running. But Blitz might be looking for BKB of his own with the Doga Club.
It's certainly something that's really nice to have. It's going to help a lot against the Earthshaker. We already talked about how he has mass lockdown, and certainly if you can dodge that, but of course it does mean that if this game goes on for a really long time, you'll have a 5-second one, maybe even within the next 10 minutes. It might degrade down to 5 seconds, just depending on how many team fights. And we have a smoke. They don't want to give up this Roshan like they did last time. And 4 Clovers, they need Blitz to come with them, though. Blitz is like trying to make it not look so obvious by pushing out that mid lane since it was so pushed, but that might just delay it long enough. And
well, this time...
Decisions.
This time we don't have Lina in here to provide... Oh, actually we do have Lina in here. Not now, never mind. But...
It's going to be a full 5v5, and I would argue that it's one of those... Both teams have the lineups where whoever's in the pit would end up losing the fight, but it looks like they're going to get the Roshan down before it's a problem, so...
Oh, the Blink crush on
two.
Take Blitz and Nikwa down. They're down. Madara will pop the BKB, gets the bash, but he just lets Blitz be bursted down by the magic damage instead. Another nice vacuum into crush. Bambo, next one to fall, gets the Aqua Slam off, but it's not really doing anything. Especially here with the Guardian Greaves coming out. It's 4 heroes down to absolutely nothing. on the side of Golden Boys. Now they're in prime position to take a tier 2, maybe in tier 3, at least put a little bit of damage on top of it. There's no buybacks here on 4C&L to really prevent this. It's only Pycat remaining, just trying to split push here. There's a big creep wave to help him, but still, is that really enough to actually get Golden Boys back? No, I don't really think so.
Yeah, it's feeling like they're probably losing at least tier 3 tower, maybe even more, but I don't know what full Clovers does here. It's never over until the Ancient falls, but they're in a really bad spot, and they're going to have to end up going lightning damage on Windrunner probably just to de-push this. Queen of Pain, she built up the BKB and now wants to build the Shivas before she goes for an Aghanims, I guess, so they don't have the easy wave clear. They've lost a melee Rax. Not looking like the easiest comeback for full Clovers, but now, you know, one nice little thing, they are firmly at the disadvantage, and so therefore you get a bunch of, any kill you get is heaps.
Yeah, so let's get them, and this game it's Golden Boy's turn to, it's not Golden Boy's turn to dodge the ganks as proficiently as 4C&L have been able to. Might have cursed ganks here, but there's only Sexy Bamboo for the time being. His team still needs some time to actually catch up. Keeps the start lock going, but Skylock is there with the vacuum, not really doing too much, and the charge across will continue. Maybe next time, locking down Sexy Bamboo as the fight rages on, and now the Soul Assumption will be enough to burst him down. Dara already blinked in, so all he can really do is keep sprinting, as well as get an amplified damage on him. But the Familiar's
oh my gosh, the Familiars!
Oh, no. Now Pycat, he actually gets bashed up, he still can't get out. Blitz, he doesn't have a BKB at hand to actually give him that trouble. He is running out, but it's only going to be a matter of time. They get the vision. Nice shackle as well on 2 heroes. It might actually be enough to keep them safe. Never mind.
Nope. The Familiars with the Solar Crest with all the amp damage is way too much.
Gets vacuum back as well. Maybe next time gets a charge up and running. That's him going down too. Once again, 3 heroes. Make that 4, so each DM gets caught on the back.
That's it.
Not even stopping for the task, and yeah, 4 years down, 2 of them have buyback, but they may have to use them soon. They will definitely lose that range racks and potentially
they'll lose bottom tier 3 at least, as well as probably the racks, because they have really forced pushing with Lena. She'll be able to make sure she kills all this. They don't have the AC up yet on Slaughter, so that's a saving grace. But he can buy it out now, and oh my Jesus.
Pammo on the side, and now vacuum in the back to keep Pycat control. But Dara finishes off the Earth Shake, and that was the trump card. There's no Echo Slam in this fight. Kaiser even staying alive barely, not even having to use his Aegis right now, and Madara, he still has his BKB, and at this point, well, he's working on his AC. The fake back with the smoke. He's just pulling out all the tricks of the book right now. You even have the Crimson card onto Darkseid. I didn't know when he picked that up. It's also very, very useful up against all these right clicks on the Windrunner. Just got to crush it, absolutely everyone! Vacuum into the wall, into all the AoE!
Nuts.
And then Snickwa tried to go back to the base, but the stick charge
Madara didn't miss that crush.
Maybe next time he will maybe die.
Kenny! Oh!
Pure damage too strong from the urn, but hey, there's another set of racks going down. The tier 2 is still up, and wouldn't be too surprised if Golden Boys just go for the juggler here. Tier 4s are exposed, but no. Okay, they're gonna play it safe. Probably going to be pushed down on top tier 2, and then seal the deal with Mega Creeps. And yeah, they're gonna call it right.
And there's the GG call.
Yeah. Oh,
okay,
wow.
well, Madara made up all of the missed Slithering crushes. Based on that last one.
That was a beautiful last crush, I gotta say.
Holy cow, that setup.
I mean,
yeah, and we don't even get to see we still don't have the question answered of what does carry Slaughter go with the later items post the BKB, Blink, and AC. What will that next item be? We'll never know. We're not seeing Slaughter get there, but yeah, I think a really well done job by Golden Boys. They were on the back foot for part of that game, just played it calm, took a few excellent team fights and snowballed from there. So really well done, Golden Boys both sets.